hear you. It says you're connecting to audio. I don't know if you already know that. Obviously, that's fine. Sorry. But in case you didn't, I just wanted to point it out. Closed captions have apparently not been doing that for a minute.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
All right. Losing my voice a little bit, but not too bad. How about you?
The same. I guess I'm not like great. I'm
Yeah.
waking up in the middle of the night because I last night because I was sick, and then um as soon as I was like trying to set anything up on my computer, of course I got that dreaded update slog, and I was like, okay, I'll probably not be that late. And then my computer froze, and then I was like, oh my god.
Of course.
Cool.
Just compound all of those things on top, on top, on top. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. Well, I mean, the sickness is setting in, and just every other person I hear is like, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, well, and you're around kids, so it's
Oh, yeah.
you're on the
I
front
know.
lines.
I think this is going to be an interesting year.
Yes. Yeah, no, even my adult children are gross. And I feel bad because they'll like cough and I'll be like, ew, on the inside of my brain.
You're like, get away from me. Don't touch me, please.
Right. Like, I hope you don't have any questions. Yuck. Excuse me, sorry for coughing. Okay, so uh, when the computer crashed, I was mid making the agenda. So it took forever. John had to get involved. I love being married to an IT person.
Oh, that is very convenient. There you go.
It is. But I do know the one thing we need to check in on is I just have a general update from Edie that I wanted to say in a meeting, not necessarily like forward her email or anything. But she's having to dial back her participation for
Mhm.
various reasons. And so I think it might be good if somebody else um, picks up the kind of mantle of being contact person with the gallery.
Mhm.
And so just the two of us, I'll probably just send out a text in the group chat to see who is able to do that.
Okay.
Because I know Ruben said to have something delegated to him. So, but we still do need to. So that means that Edie didn't check with the gallery to talk about like, can Foucault live stream? Is anyone going to
Mhm.
be at the Arbiter talk? And who would moderate that kind of stuff. So we'll still need to like follow up with that. But that's like a longitudinal thing. It's not urgent. We just got to figure out who wants to take that on.
Yeah, yeah. That has a little more wiggle room to figure that out.
Exactly. And then I was trying to check to see if there was a lot of tabs open when it froze, which is probably why it froze. But I was trying to check on Liv's progress with the headshot bio and work, the kind of meet our juror.
Uh-huh.
I think it got sent out, right?
I think I believe so. Like I saw that information somewhere. I can't remember if it was in the I think it was maybe in the last newsletter or on the Instagram. I know that it is out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at our sent to see if I can find it.
Pretty because I know I read something.
There's something in introducing the jurors, blah blah blah. This is just talking about the show.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. We're thrilled to announce our juror. Oh, but we didn't say anything about her, so we didn't do the in-depth. Let me just keep looking to make sure I'm not full of baloney.
Yeah, I thought that's what like. I was pretty sure I read something at some point that was like a little juror intro. But maybe I just went to the link because there is like a link for
Yeah,
Foucault's, and maybe I just did that. No, now
I'm not.
I'm questioning that.
Well, and I think I'm gonna check just to see where Liv was with it. Because she had sent, she'd sent messages because she got
Mhm.
sick. Um, hmm, doo, 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 doo.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah. Well, even if not, like it'll be that'll still be something to share at some point, even at whatever point during the show, even if it's
yeah,
leading up to it or you know.
yeah, it's not a crisis. I will say, the last thing I got from that is that Liv got the reminder of the applications due out, um,
Mhm.
but that she hadn't gotten the email from Foucault yet. So,
Mm. Okay. Oh,
well,
this is the one. I think it was the 2 days to deadline, and then there was just like a bit more about our juror. So it did have a little more, just
okay,
like a bio thing in there. That's where it was.
but we
Not
should
necessarily. Yeah.
probably like
Cool.
an official. This is our juror. This is the person.
Yeah.
Decide. Okay, so we'll need to. We can also delegate that. um, I think maybe that is kind of a blessing in disguise because we could send that out basically when we send out the kind of email announcing that she'll have a live stream if we find that out, right?
Mhm.
And announcing the types of things that she'll be doing, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like that could go out then, or when the announcement of like the artists who are going to participate. Like I feel like there's several opportunities that would seem a natural point to.
Yeah. Um, because then it would be like, yeah, come see what she has to say about the show and et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. And then we've done all our reminders. We got a little bit of that meter in the October newsletter. Um, I know Tanushree was looking into Survey Monkey, but it sounds like she's back home. Um,
Mhm.
so we'll follow up with her on that next month. It's not urgent. And
Mhm.
then, yeah, how was you were inputting addresses, um, emails, I think, adding.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just checking because we were determining eligibility by if they're on the mailing list, right? That was one of the things to check.
Mhm.
So I just, checked everybody was if they're in the mailing list contact. Um, and then I input a bunch of, new people had signed up for the mailing list. So I added those in. So that's updated. There were a couple people who are not on the mailing list, and I um, was going to ask.
Yeah, are they the people in gray?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Hmm.
maybe like, yeah, I don't know how. Yeah. I was going to look and see specifically those people, like if they follow the Instagram, and maybe it's like as long as I don't know how strict we want to be, and if people are following one or the other.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because I think I think we had said in the application, you have to be on the mailing list and you have to be following us on Instagram. That's kind of been our
Yeah,
assessment of
that
members.
is. Yeah.
And it looks like most of the people here, I'm pretty sure, do follow us on Instagram just based on their names. There might be like 2 or 3 people that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we don't have like a bad number, which is kind of good. I'm glad
Yeah.
of that. Although I don't know how big their work is.
Right.
Well, I know a couple of people, so I can guess. But a lot of people I know work on paper. So I think, yeah. I mean, I would say, like, should we didn't get to exactly the number that we were expecting, or we didn't surpass the number we were expecting. So would you want to extend it, or do you think this is a good number of people?
Oh, like extend the deadline. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I I think we did once, and we want to give Foucault time to go over them. And I mean, I think I haven't actually looked at like the submissions or anything, but um, like potentially, like there's opportunity, maybe multiple pieces per person, or like just, you know, I don't
Mhm.
know.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because
And it doesn't have, some people may have several pieces and that'll take up more space, or I don't know the gallery and like how it fills out, but sometimes less is more, lets you appreciate what's there rather than overpacking. So
yeah, I think you're right about that. And also you make a good point about like the number of entries. Um, yeah.
yeah, like and maybe I know that, like, I think initially we are talking about wanting to have like 20-ish people, or potentially had space for something like that.
Mhm.
uh, but yeah, who knows, maybe people have larger work or couple or multiple pieces per person, and like maybe we give Foucault multiple directions, like
Yeah.
how to select things so that um, she can pick, the work that she wants to, without saying like, oh, I have to include so many XYZ number of people or number of pieces.
Yeah.
Uh, I I one or two shows that I've like had organized where we've had an outside juror who's then selecting like remotely, who hasn't been to the gallery or anything.
Mhm.
Which I imagine the gallery has like a floor plan or something, but we can give, you know wall square footage and stuff so that
Yeah.
she can have a really clear sense of
That's a good point.
how much
There's like
space there.
there's a diagrammatic of it. Um,
Mhm.
right now I'm looking and checking to see if they've all given us access. uh,
Yeah, well, that's a fun one. Yeah.
so I'm trying to make sure they didn't make it so that everyone could have access. So we might have to give Fuko the login for the guild.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm seeing, yeah, so RIP, this person didn't give us access. I'm just sending out requests
Yeah. Yeah.
as we go. But a lot of them do seem, the ones who gave us access have more than one piece. So that kind of helps settle that. And maybe what we say is, um, whatever amount of things work together, if because I mean, like, Foucault might also have a plan to like curate it so that they look like diptychs or triptychs or something. um yeah.
Yeah, I think just giving like a lot of information about the space and the size, and then letting her have some, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have at least one person with a book. which is cool.
Oh.
And nosy. But I a little bit have to be. I don't think there's anything so far. I'm like halfway through the list. There's nothing particularly tremendous, and most of it is works on paper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm also taking a look at the people who aren't on the mailing list. But I think, yeah, there we go. A couple of them we have to request access, and then if we don't get access, or if Fuko can't get into it, we'll have to send an email individually.
Yeah.
But I think, oh yeah, we got one book. We've got this person is a little bit more installation-y, so if they end up in the show, might also.
Oh.
But yeah, the majority of people have 3 things. So, and then we should probably also check in on, oh, yeah, what should we do for the ones where we don't have an image? There's just one that we have that situation for. The image just wasn't placed.
It doesn't. Oh no. I mean,
Right.
is there no images in the submission at all?
No,
It's just one there.
just a Google Doc.
Hmm.
Maybe we leave it up to Fuko. Is that a cop out? I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know. There's like, oh yeah, I see.
Mm.
Hmm. Huh. Weird.
Right. I don't know. It would be like special, treatment to reach out to that person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
sorry.
Nothing, yeah.
What were you saying?
Oh well, I don't know. I just I always feel bad because I know people are just like they just forgot or they thought they did, you know.
Yeah, I also feel bad about that. Maybe what we'll do is I can send it out in the this is my answer to everything, but I can send it out in the group chat and see what we think.
Yeah. But also, yeah, I don't know, like I my only reason is because we have slightly fewer submissions than. Hold on, my cat's trying to jump off a ledge. I'll be right back. Ira, get down. Be careful. Sorry.
You're okay.
She's just dangling her like all her body off the thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll reach out and see. And then also, like I already have to ask about a couple other things anyway. So, and then it's not like checking to see if they're following us on Instagram is like not fun. But I've done it before, so I can do it again.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you like, I can make another column, and if there's people that you're like, are already on Instagram, just because maybe you're more familiar with that, like, if you just mark those off, and the ones you're not sure of, like, I'm happy to go, like, go through and do the ones that you don't know about. That way does that seem reasonable? The ones you can just like look at the name and immediately check off because and then the ones you don't know, I can take care of.
Yeah. I will say there's one person that I would Yes, is my long-term answer.
Okay.
We do need to, I think we need to, um, I think we need to, I already went ahead and did it. I have a feeling several of these people follow us because I've seen their names before. But we didn't ask their Instagram handles. So
Yeah, that was the thing. That was where, like, when I got through the emails, I was like, oh, we don't actually have this info. And some people have their name associated with their account, some people don't.
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna look. Hold on. I'm gonna try the first person and see if they come up. I'm in the wrong account. It would be
I
helpful.
got I got I got locked out of the RipG things. Otherwise, I would look. I thought we had Instagram on that form.
I thought we did too. Hi, Edie. I didn't see you come
Hi.
in.
Hi.
How are
I
you?
did. I time traveled from Ohio yesterday, so I'm sleepy.
I told people about the email you sent me, not in detail. I just,
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this person does. They have theirs, and there we go. Now that we know. So it might just be a matter of looking them up, which is not like fun, but it wouldn't have been fun either way.
It won't be that bad. I can do that today,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and just the fact that I just am looking at now, like, you've already ticked off 8 people, which is like a third of the list, so that, like, it's helpful.
Well, and I
And
think
then,
if you're looking at the list while I am, the one that I just
yeah.
selected, I'm pretty sure they've been on the mailing list.
Uh-huh.
I think they were on the mailing list with a different email.
Ah,
I think we ended up removing them because their email got deactivated or something. So we get into a tricky situation with that.
that's true. Well, different emails. Okay, because I was just looking up by email, but maybe I'll try and look up by name for those ones that,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
because
Yeah.
I was looking up by email, but we should have their name in there too. So I will double check those ones so as not to accidentally uninvite someone.
Yeah. So as a kind of recap, Edie, we have about 24 applicants that we're talking about, which is close to what we were looking for. So we decided, probably not. I don't think it's necessary to extend, because most of them have 3 works.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing that we're talking about is we have 2 incomplete submissions, and we're not sure if we should reach out to them. So we might just ask everybody in the group chat and get like a vote to see how we feel about that. Because I mean, there are members, so there's like that care for member aspect that we'd like to be able to do, but also, you know,
Yeah.
there's also the tradition of not doing that. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, that did, all right. 2 people. Yeah, different new email addresses. So, okay, there we go.
Fantastic. And then I think we were talking about something else. Hold on. We definitely were. We talked about a bunch of things. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading through my notes. So somebody else is going to pick up the mantle of contact with Nick, and I'm just going to send out a message to see who's willing to do that, because Ruben asked for us to delegate something to him, so I didn't know if he would want to do that.
Well, I can talk to Nick.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. And I talk to Nick like 3 days a week, so
Okay, perfect. Then, um, I think that what we had was we wanted to ask Nick whether or not Foucault, let me write it down. Whether or not Foucault could do like a live stream or some other kind of like way that people could access her juror talk.
Yeah, that might be a conversation with the, so Nick kind of handed stuff off to the gallery directors a little bit. So that might be a question for the gallery directors. So I can email all of them.
Okay. That's fantastic. Thank you. And then we also wanted to ask like if there could be a video walkthrough. Like we just want there to be a way that our participants can
Yeah,
see the show
I
even
bet.
if they're not nearby.
Yeah. So live stream or recording of her talk. Okay. Um,
And the
um,
last thing was if we could, sorry, I'm eating avocado toast. Quintessential millennial.
yeah, I was gonna say that's very millennial of you.
Um, right. So if we could like, if Nick was planning on doing this already or not, if we thought it would be really cool if there was like a reels of the making of the publication that we could share.
Cool. He's good at that with
Yeah.
okay. So,
Because that's also, you know, it's in that vein of education.
mhm.
And it's also just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask him also if he wants help with layout of that. Like if he's doing, I don't know if he would do it in InDesign or what he would do it in. So I'll talk to him about that.
That sounds good. I also would be down to volunteer with that if he needs.
Okay. I was in touch with the gallery director, and for a while, I thought we were gonna have to do gallery agreements with every single artist, but it sounds like we can just do it as an organization and have the artists' names on it. So we'll just have to sign something for the gallery. So I was very relieved to hear that.
That is wonderful.
So good.
Do you know if all of the board would need to sign it or?
I don't know. He didn't ask about our organization structure. So I don't know. I haven't seen the paperwork yet.
Okay.
It probably would just need one signature, I'd imagine.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'll just sign it.
Okay.
And then I will be legally responsible.
Right. Yeah, I told him I'd need to get him a list of the artists and works once Foucault's done jurying, and I think then he creates that agreement.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Speaking of Foucault jurying, I lost the thought. Oh, it's back. So at what point do we want to go ahead and send this out? I know Emma, you said today would probably be, you'd probably be done doing the checking eligibility. And then what I would suggest is just taking anybody who's not out. I think there's only one person that doesn't technically meet the requirement. So we could just toss their application. Maybe we keep two versions. I don't know, it feels bad. I don't like it.
No.
But also that is kind of the established rule that we made. So
Would we inform that person of why they were not in the show?
That's a good question. Hmm.
I mean, we don't have to trip over ourselves. It's like we are all adults and can read the application stuff and ask questions if we need to. So we don't have to. Just curious.
Yeah, I think we might just end up putting them on a we regret to inform you, you know. Hmm.
So I will say I am starting to put some names in the, just like looking through the followers, and I've already found several who like are not, put their name in, and it seems like an Instagram account is not associated with their name maybe, so I'm worried that and I'm just not sure how to go about the confirming
Hmm.
for sure whether or not somebody follows our Instagram if their Instagram is not anything to do with their, name, which may be a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we could.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we could, if that was gonna eliminate a lot of people, we could just chalk that one up and be like, well, we learned a lesson by not putting it in our application, I guess.
Yeah. I can some of them I can cross-reference from the actual emailing list, but maybe not everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of the like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I'm looking. Or they have like a very generic name, and so it's not clear, basically.
Yep.
Um, but I mean, they did, they're on the mailing list, so. Oh, boo.
Well, I will say, here we go. Let's see. It does actually look like I found the last person who was possibly not on the mailing list, and they are actually on the mailing list, just again, also with a different email address, which I've just updated. So
Perfect. So maybe let's just use the mailing list as the
yeah,
qualifier, because that is more of a commitment than following us.
yeah, it's more official, and it also, I was thinking like, there are some people who don't Instagram, or may have fallen off since the beginning or something. So
Yeah, well, and that's something that people have asked us about before, where they're like, I don't like Instagram, I don't want one, but I do want to be a member. How do I do that? And we've kind of just put a pin in it whenever we see it, basically. Because we don't have an answer. Yeah. So yeah, I think let's just go with the mailing list. I'm gonna add that to I'm making like agenda with addendums as we go. That one's on the mailing list. And I like how you said it, Edie, just kind of chalking that up to our mistake.
Right. It's like when in an assignment, if I don't say you have to do 3 layers and I say you have to do 3 colors, that's on me.
Exactly.
If they want to challenge that, yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to my grad student TA about that because he was
Mhm.
like, a lot of people didn't do this. And I said, how many? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, is it the majority? Because if the majority did it wrong, then that was on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if it's like one person who just turned in something that makes absolutely no sense, then that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a pattern, then you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Mm. So yay, that means everybody's eligible and we don't have to be weird and it's all Foucault's job now.
Yay.
Okay, cool. So I guess my next question then is, do we just go ahead and hand this off to Foucault?
Do we have enough information for her as far as parameters?
That's a
Like,
good point. We should draft like a parameters email
mhm.
and then have everybody just take a quick look at it and approve it. I don't mind being the person to do that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Make a next steps thing. I will. Like just do it in the guild account and then just say like it's the last draft or whatever titled this. And then I'll try and get that out by because I want Buko to have time, so I'll try to get that out by Monday. Like so that everyone can look at it on Monday.
Mhm.
And then maybe send to Fuko by Wednesday. Yeah. That way she gets most of the month to do her jurying thing.
Yeah.
And then I have a feeling, so I have a couple of questions to ask just right now about that. Do we do we want to have essentially multiple works from one person if for some reason it fits the theme better?
Like if it's a series and it makes more sense that way?
Yeah, or if let's say we have like somebody who applied but they don't quite fit the theme, they just kind of applied with something, and then we have another person who fits the theme really well and gave us multiple entries. Would it be a situation where if Fuko wanted to, it would be acceptable for her to say no to the person who doesn't fit the theme and then say yes to two of the person who does fit the theme's work? Does that make sense? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a series. It could just be that she wants two of the works.
Man, that makes, I think that if I was jurying, I would enjoy that flexibility.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say give as much, creative curatorial control to her as that's that's why she's here, just to let her do her thing. I'd say as little restrictions on that as we think is reasonable. Makes sense to me.
Okay. And then just to clarify, would we want to like cap it at two works per person at most? Or because I could see this becoming something where, let's say 10 people get in, but it's three works per person, right?
Mm.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, is the gallery scene? I just looked at a couple of pictures and it's hard to
There's like 3 different galleries.
Okay.
I think we have, yeah, I wrote down somewhere the amount of running space, but I do not know where it is now. I really should have just like made a folder for this show and put it in the thing. But we kind of worked out that what we could fit before was like maybe 25 18 by 24 works.
Mhm.
Okay.
We could probably get 30 in there depending on the size.
Mhm. And if one's a book and has a pedestal, we didn't account for that.
Exactly. And I think we have 2 books that applied, I think, that I
Mhm.
saw because I was just skimming through to make sure everybody gave us access.
And 18 by 24 is kind of bigger than what potentially many people are working.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I looked at a couple that were like 4 by 6,
Mhm.
at least one that were very small. So
Yeah, I think we specified no frames too.
yeah. So I would say again, like maybe just leaving that to her. This is the running, wall space. You we'd like to like there shouldn't be 5 people in the show, but also you don't need to include everything, obviously. Um, yeah, because and not having seen everything, but the idea is if most things are actually smaller than 18 by 24,
Mhm.
um, which is probably true.
Yeah,
Uh, then we would run the other risk of it not being enough
right. That's very true.
things, or including things that don't necessarily, fit with the rest of the show.
Mhm.
If we put that other limit on it of only.
That's true. So I think then our kind of core guiding principle is more the show theme.
Yeah, yeah. Or here's the show theme. Here's the space. Not not do with it what you will, but like
Yeah.
less. I don't know. To me, yeah, the less is more when it's like
Mhm.
for this.
Yeah. I might also add a statement about diversity of
Mhm.
media, right? So like mostly because I know sometimes people hesitate when they're like, oh, there's only going to be one book. That seems kind of odd. Like I don't
Mm.
care. There can just be one book, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't want her to feel that kind of like everything has to be super cohesive visually or all on the wall or anything like that. Do you think that's a good thing to add?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll say encouraged. So I wrote it down as diversity of media and display format are encouraged. There we go. Okay, cool. So I can draft something out of that. Thank you. That's helpful. Um, and then I'm looking at the rest of the things that we might need to talk about. So I did not get to the Google form for adding opportunities yet. And I haven't made a page for the show on the website either. The month kind of got away from me, so my apologies on that.
Um,
But I think the other thing we talked about was last time was incorporating, and I think we decided to really flesh that out in December. So just a kind of reminder that our December meeting is going to be more focused on the kind of brass tacks of incorporating. Um, Emma, I know you mentioned some lawyers in New Mexico. We should probably I don't know. I said we would put a pin in that, but maybe that's something we should talk about, moving the organization to New Mexico we before that next meeting in December.
Well, I mean, I can like reach out and see, because again, I know a couple people, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know enough about law to know if like they are not, if nonprofit would be the thing, but I can go ahead and like try and feel that out, or start
Yeah, I'd
talk to
appreciate.
people and see if that's even like a potential resource or not.
Yeah, I would appreciate it.
Do that for
It's
sure.
it's interesting because like we've met a lot of people that are like, I know lawyers, and then we realized that like nonprofit lawyers are few and far between.
Yeah.
It's,
And
yeah,
I'm hopeful that even if they're not a nonprofit lawyer, they may know one. Like that's
right.
the hope. So I can start seeing if any of those things pan out.
Fingers crossed. Mm, and we're eventually going to revisit a date for these meetings, because Saturday mornings are hard. But we talked about revisiting that at the end of the year, so maybe that'll be our December meeting too. Mhm. I think that's it. Do we have anything else that we would like to work on?
Mm.
Over time, I guess. But
I don't know. I think it's the show will be a good opportunity to. It's a nice thing to get, like just I've been updating that emailing list, and like a bunch of new people have joined that because of the show. So I feel like it kind of will
yeah,
start people's engagement interest again.
Mhm.
yeah. I also like that the last time we did a show, we had like a lot of people that they had just joined, or had joined within like the last 3 months. And because we've been around for like 3 or 4 years now, now we have like people that have been there since the beginning. We have new people. It's like fun to see the composition of the show change.
Mhm.
Okay, I think perfect timing. That's all. I'm gonna spend the next month, just as a heads up to everybody, getting caught up on the things that I was doing, but also I might delegate some of these things. Um, I'm also gonna ask, you know what? I might ask Ruben, because Ruben asked to have some tasks delegated to him. I might ask Ruben to do the email for Foucault or something. But I am definitely going to update the website for the show, at least as a receptacle for the visuals of the show and details about it. But sorry, I derailed myself a little bit because I was like, the things that I have to do. The main thing I wanted to say is I'm going to start looking more directly at incorporation and kind of shifting my priorities to that. So you might get periodic like texts or emails from me asking questions about that, and about what we'd like to do.
Cool.
I am gonna say I have a feeling we might need to change some of the language in our bylaws, even though they were kind of voted on. I'm starting to think that the structure that we have just isn't sustainable with the number of volunteers that are involved. So it's mostly that hierarchical structure that we're going to have to revisit.
Mhm.
But I think it's okay for us to leave that until we've had a conversation with someone. Or let me rephrase that. I think it's okay for us to leave that until December. Yeah, I'm at least gonna like dig through the old documents and stuff so that we have a concept of what we're doing, and I'll probably leave that as well.
Starting point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have a really solid starting point people agreed to, so it might just be a matter of making some amendments and then pushing out the whole document and just having people vote on it.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with it, but we might end up having to change the body, the structural body from a board. We might not have to change it from a board, but it might start to look more like the boards of other organizations, which is a little bit of a bummer because we wanted to be different, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, cool. Cool. It was, I'm gonna stop recording because I think we're done.